All right, all you devils out there. Oh, what are we at here? We're a little after 1 o'clock on Friday the 18th. I'm going to take a look today at Bitcoin, of course, and then we'll look at the S&P. I'll probably look at the futures. So, wow, a lot of negative sentiment. People seem to be freaking out about this little sell-off. Bitcoin's not doing anything that it doesn't normally do, right? I mean, if this is freaking you out, if you're a Bitcoin trader, well, if that's freaking you out, maybe this isn't the right market for you. Now, of course, if you're trading with leverage, you probably got spanked pretty hard there, right? That's a decision you make when you put on leverage here, right? It means you perhaps can't hold through something like this. But really, why the freak out? I got people telling me, oh, bear market. Oh my God, so Bitcoin's tanking, right? I've spent the last 2 hours with this count. What's the freak? Why is everyone losing their religion here? This is just a very typical Bitcoin price correction. But, it's dramatic, right? So, and Bitcoin does this, right? So everybody's thrilled when we pump up and everybody's completely devastated when we pump down. Seems a bit of an overreaction. Now, I'm looking at a daily here. This is a spot, right? I'm on BitGet, right? There's our sponsor, right? So that's why I'm over here. Now, just a couple of things. Before we get into any Elliott counts here, I've got two, both bullish, by the way, that we can look at here. Again, let's chillax a bit here, right? Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that we can't, start to really tumble here, but right now we're not in crisis mode here if you're a Bitcoin bull, not yet. Threatening, stormy skies. Okay, right, I'll give you that. But we haven't altered any counts really substantially. I haven't. Let's just relax here for a second. Okay, so let me, again here, I've got two volume profiles on here. Oh, and let me grab this here. So first one is all of this, right? All of this here. And so we get our value area. And then I did the exact same thing from the low to the high. So all of this right here, right? From low to high. Now, as we come back down, right, I want to see what the volume profile looks like there. Okay, well, so again, why is everybody freaking out? Okay. I get it, right? Nobody, or if you're bullish, right, you like to see it going up, up, up. Okay, so what have we done? We've come back right into value down, value up. Okay. In other words, right, the market is fat and happy here, right? We're in the value area where the traders can agree on price, right? So that, again, I'm just shocked to see how much freak out I'm getting. Oh, let's see here. So with that established here, is there anything here? Well, here, we'll take this one off here. Now going up here, I guess we can clean some of this up. All right, and we've been over this a couple of times here. So here's a supply, right? We've come right down to the demand. Now on the daily, right? I don't have anything on here just other than, obvious, right? That's refined down to the nub, right? And same thing down here. So good demand, right? We know this is, right here, we know this is a good demand zone here. We've tapped it now twice. I will say, second time weakens it all the more, right? I talked about this before. It's like throwing rocks at a glass window, right? You two rocks and you haven't broken it. Third rock likely to get it. So if we're going to tap and push on this, I'm not saying we couldn't go lower. And now if we start taking out some of these lower pivots, right? Now obviously we've got a very different circumstance on our hands, and counts will have to be recalculated, right? Or relabeled at the very least here, and your expectation perhaps will change. But right now, why the freak out? So let's get in there and just take a look at this. Okay, so I think for anyone applying Elliott, the start, right, is because you can count it multiple ways, right? Makes it very tricky. Is it 1, 2, 1, 2? Again, so as we look at these counts, because we don't have certainty, and Bitcoin's notorious for having tricky twos. Okay, so it's from the low here, we got to get a 1 in there somehow. Now, I kind of like the account that we've got an expanded B here. So let's just look at 2 counts here. Let's go, I think this is the first one here. We've looked at this one here. This is more accommodating to this price action that we've had here. Okay, so 1, we're going to expand the B into the 2, 3, right? Because I can dig an impulse out of here. 4, 5. All right, so I've got a 1. It gets a little tricky in here. A, we know we have this triangle here as a B, right? So nothing changes there, but we can complete a W here as an ABC. Now this gets a little tricky here. You got to get into an A, expand the B, and then we get I guess it wouldn't really matter here. Oh, pardon. Well, maybe we pull this over here since we've got. No, we can do it. 3, 4, A, B. Yes. Shit. At this point, I don't know. Here we'll go ahead and use the highest pivot. I don't know that it matters much. All right. So coming out of that, A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, going in. Right. Possibly we could be finishing up here. Again, okay, so look, why the freak out, right? So we go up here, we just rocket up. Now, what are we doing here? We're just filling in all that imbalance, right? So we have all of this imbalance is now filled in here. So we go up with fair value gaps, right? Displacement, right? So bears get displaced here, bulls get displaced here. Ebb and flow of the market, right? Now it's extreme, right? That's the thing, right? And I know it seems a lot of people got caught here, a lot of liquidations. But if you're looking at this long term, right, and you're working on, I'm on a daily, right? We'll go down to some smaller time frame and dig into it. I mean, I don't see the freak out, right? So what happened down here, right? So one day, let me get that off there. A good exercise is always just go through the chart and look for, just use your line tool, right? I put it to however you like it. Just start wicking off areas where obvious liquidity grabs were made, right? Where stops were run, sweeps were grabbed, right? It's all algo driven, right? So what are the algos doing, right? They're looking for liquidity, right? What's the purpose of the market? To facilitate trade. Where do we facilitate trade? Where there's liquidity. Where's there liquidity? Under pivots. It's good exercise, right? Just start going through. I do it often, right? Whether it's live stream or on these videos here, just like, okay, well, we can see what happened here. Well, we can see what happened here. Now, granted, it's always easier in hindsight. But if you start doing that, just that little exercise of saying, okay, where's liquidity being grabbed? It'll start dialing your eye in. So you'll look here and see this like, okay, why did we bounce there? Is it possible that there was some liquidity was grabbed there? Yeah, likely. Right now, we know we have a demand zone here from this. Let's open it up a little bit so you can see it here. So we get this down candle here before we go up, right? So we can call, whether you want to call it an order block, right? We label it just a little bit differently. Whether you want to call it an order block or a demand zone here, it doesn't matter, right? So here's the demand. Here's that we got fair value gaps that came out of it. So we know there was displacement here. So we have a solid demand zone here, and that's the one that's been checked twice, right? Tapped reaction, right? Doesn't mean, right? And the implication here of this count is that it's again, back to the glass window, you can throw that rock 3 times, we're likely to break this. So if this is in the process of if this is correctly labeled, right? We don't know until it's done. But if this is 1, 2, 3, kind of working on this pause here today, 4, you could see, right, it would be not unlike Bitcoin to complete this over the weekend. So something like this, right, likely breaks it. Okay, again, are we radically altering the count? Well, it depends how far we go here, right? Now, if we take out this low, right, things start looking a bit uglier. And is that possible? Sure, it's possible, right? But we haven't done it yet. So, okay, if we do it, okay, this is starting to look a little bit uglier. But right now, again, I can't, I'm just kidding. I might email, DMs, people just flipping out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into a 1, right? Perfectly valid. Could very well be it. WXY. It's a little funky, right? The X be expanding the X, but the ABC in here seems to work. Okay. AB, or so if this is WX, right, we're just looking for an ABC to finish it. Now let's start putting some fibs into this. If this is a completed 1 and we're just working on the 2, right, let's be pretty standard ops here. Okay, well, we're not even to where we'd anticipate it. Now, this is Elliott, right? Swing, right? We're going to use this as the one. Algo, not going to do that. Algo doesn't care about your Elliott count, right? Algo is just going to take dominant low to dominant high, right? Doesn't care whether that's an expanded B or not. So as we look here now, okay, swing low, swing high. Okay, again, right? See, if this is what always surprises me. If this is the one, right? If it's not going to be 1, 2, and we're going to keep going, right? Which I'm sure bulls, right? That's what would be the anticipation. Oh, like this huge drop here, right? And what's why? It doesn't matter why. Really, does it? Sellers overwhelm buyers. Well, I don't care if that's Elon and SpaceX, and I think some of that is bullshit. Not that he's. I mean, I think it's public record that SpaceX has sold Bitcoin. Okay, somebody's buying it. Okay, 1, 2, right? So essentially, we're putting in a big 3, something along the. Now again, I don't know how far that goes, but why not golden zone? Bitcoin loves the golden zone, right? Well, we've seen some 50s as well. So here now, if we come out of here, you're gonna look back at this and say, well, of course it had to do that, right? We need the correction to give us the second before we launch for the third. So we have to have a downtrend in here somewhere, right? Were you freaking out here? Okay, so there's more complexity to it. Well, we'll look at an alternate count as well, because this can be counted multiple ways. How is this not doing, if you're applying Elliott Wave here, how is this not, whether you're pulling it from here or here, you need this. You need the downtrend to give you the 2. Maybe I'm naive, right? I don't know. Well, I haven't been doing this a long time, but that doesn't freak me out. Now, my position is different, right? I'm in plenty of profit, right? So this doesn't really impact me. Now, if you were again, as I said when I started, if you were trading with leverage in here, well, you probably got your ass handed to you, right? So maybe back off on the leverage. 1, 2, 3, 4, working on a 2. Okay, well. Okay, right, we come down here, right, we hit some of these demand zones here. We're in a demand zone right now. We're going to come down to a fib level, something like this, maybe even in line with the channel, right? So I'm just working off of the parallel that I've got here. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, we got to come down here for one more. Are you not, does that not look intriguing to you for the buy? It sure does to me. See, I come back to, well, this is what makes trading hard. When we're going up, right? Oh, great. It's so easy when it's going up. But all of a sudden we have a correction, and oh my God, well, I can't buy it. Holy shit, it's coming straight down. I can't buy it. Seriously, what did you want? Like a gentle little floating little drift down? Oh, into a pile of soft cotton here, and then we're going to slowly, oh, no, right? So we want the sell-offs to be soft and gentle, but we want the launch to be dramatic and aggressive, right? Up, down, right? People do the same thing, up or down, right? So people are scrambling here. People are getting stopped out, getting liquidated here. People are piling on. Short sellers are piling on. Come on. That looks appealing to me. This whole area down here looks appealing to me. Oh shit, come here. All this come down here. I know an algo is going to fire there. Now again, just an algo firing doesn't mean that we can't fall. That's never what I'm saying. But all we can ever do is just take a calculated risk based on price action pattern, whatever your technical approach is. Doesn't have to be Elliott. Don't need Elliott. Elliott is just, it's supposed to be an enhancement, not something that makes it problematic. Like, oh, Jesus, I can't figure out this Elliott case. Well, I guess I can't trade. Now, I'm not saying that, that you should be trading all the time. I'm just saying this is an overreaction. My view, my opinion, right? Take it for what it's worth. This is quite an overreaction. And if anything, I mean, if you're a bull and Bitcoin has just gone from 30, what did we get down here, to 24, 25? Well, if you liked it at 30, you're going to love it at 25, right? I mean, it's just Bitcoin just went on sale. And we're not even really, are we quite? Right, if we just look at a premium to discount, we're not even to the discount yet. So Okay, hey, we're having a sale, but it doesn't start until we get to 23.5. Then you can come on in. We'll open the doors. You can come on in. You can buy all you want. If we're gonna have a 2, we gotta have a downtrend. Got to have it before we can do that. All right. It's kind of interesting, right? All right. There's one count. Let's look at that. Let's look at an alternate. So what have I got? I got group 1. I'm getting better with this now. Okay, so there's group 2. Let's look at group of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Same thing. Perfectly valid. 2, 1, 2. Now, this invalidates if we take out this low. But let's reevaluate this. Here, let me take that off. Okay, so let's just look for a second. Right here is what we're drawing here on the assumption that this is all, we're just going to use the algo from swing low, swing high. All right, but if this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. So now we're just doing a 2, right? Same thing. I guess we're doing this as a flat here. So we've got W, A, B, C into an X. This gets a little sloppy here. Almost doesn't matter. Right now, I think, oh shit, my Elliott purists here are going to give me a hard time. If I'm not mistaken, can I get, oh shit, I can't remember. I don't know that it matters whether I can get, the B can expand past the X. Well, see, I would go to one of my Elliott gurus to give me a hand there. What do I see up here? I just see consolidation, right? This is what we chop, right? Is there an Elliott count in there? Well, fuck, yeah, we could go down to a 5 minute and probably dig something out. It's just consolidation. So what I'm trying to do is just basically look what's the implied count. Now I got to expand the B here, but we're essentially doing this. That's the implied count out at this distance on a daily. Okay, we can. You don't lose the picture, the forest through the trees because you're all caught up in what that, fuck, who cares? I really don't care what that is. Here's what I see. I see that we from here. I think we all get a little too hung up on these. Fuck, what is that? A WXYXZ? We're trying to correct this, right? If we're going to call this an impulse, which I think we can all agree you could certainly make a strong case for it. How about we say it that way, right? Now, do I know it's an impulse? Well, I can certainly count an impulse in there. Well, okay, I'm having a complex correction. No doubt, right? With a big kind of kicker here. Okay, well, again, so if this is AB, if that's AB, okay, 1, 2, looks like we're in the impulsive piece of it. So let's finish that here. Shit, I thought I had done this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So bring it down here for a C, for a Y, for a potential 2 relative to this 1, 2, right? Now, all good, all good. Now, break that. Now, we got to change the count. But we could go to the alternate count, right? The first one that we looked at. But right now, okay, that's my 1. Why is everybody freaking out? I've come right back to the demand zone. Now, I know, right? Some people will tell you, oh, it's already mitigated. Right? All the orders that were sitting there have already been picked up. Up they go. Maybe. I could, certainly, it's weakened. How about we say that? Now, here, I'm on the daily. Here's the God MA, right? We're on the wrong side of the God MA, right? It's the last time we did that here at this degree. Oh, shit. Well, here, we got on the other side of it here, right? This is we're going to, that, for those that don't know, right? I shouldn't assume you do. That's just the average of the SMA and the EMA. It's a good one. I just use it as for free up some screen real estate here rather than the Vegas wave, although it's not dramatic, right? Just simple, right? Okay. Oh, it's a trend indicator. All right. Okay, we're below. Okay, is that why you're freaking out? Okay. What were you anticipating here? That we were just going to keep? See, this is what people think. Okay, wait a sec. All right, we're going to go up here. We're going to go up. And we're going to retrace, and we're just going to keep going, and we're just going to keep going. Yeah, that would have been nice. I'm rooting for Bitcoin. Not just blindly because I own a lot of it. I'm rooting for Bitcoin because I believe in it. So is that coloring my technical analysis? Probably. Excuse me. But freaking out here. Okay, 1 2 1 2. Let's do what an algo do. Let's just go right to the pivot. Does it change anything here? Whether you're gonna use this as your 1 and go WXY, right? When does it matter, right? Did it change anything? Did we get on the other side of the 65? We didn't. But it does look like if this is going to be the 4 here, this has got one more push down here. So this, here we could go to, let's go to platinum. Platinum here. So we've got golden zone 707, 764, right? 8887. Okay, we could come lower. It's still not changing the count, right? I'm not going to get it even the slightest bit bearish until we break that low at 19.5. Then, okay, we got to reconsider this. Is this all just corrective? And we got to go back. We got to go back down and test these lows. I still won't be selling my Bitcoin. I'll just be buying more. Okay, so but that's my circumstance. Maybe not be yours. All right. So now as we look at this here again, it's boy, this level sure has been important. This 25. What do we got? Let's call it 25, 2, 3. Market sure seems to respect that level. Note here, I should mention this. I'm out of log scale. Usually we're looking at it in log scale, but if I'm just going to focus here, I've got from 15 to 30. I don't need to be in log scale. Okay, right. My anticipation is that we do come down here a little bit lower here. If this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Likely we take out that low. So now we've already swept the liquidity here. So now it just moves over here, right? So if we're going to come 4, 5, sweep that liquidity, we have a fair value gap down here. So we have more imbalance, right? You can see I probably changed that color. Let's put that in red, right? So we have this imbalance here. So it wouldn't be surprising here. So we have a demand zone here with an imbalance underneath it. So if this is, okay, right, 3, let's just, fuck here, let's redo, let's just call it, right, 4, and we're going to come down for the 5, okay, that's what I'm looking for, that's the roadmap that I have. Now, if we now, big extension here, still, freak out, Maybe, right? But let's see if we can get this thing to finish cleanly and have it, if you're an Elliottician, you're kind of looking at this going, wow, right? Again, Bitcoin's on sale. Okay, 1, 2, WXY, 1, 2, right? So if you want to be more ultra conservative, of course, we don't have this yet, but if we come down here and we start to come up, right, first retrace, likely, right? This level has been mighty important in the market. Boy, wouldn't that be a great spot to be a buyer? Look, we've got a fair value gap up here as well, right? So this imbalance, right? Market doesn't like to leave them, right? Look, right? Market doesn't like to leave them, right? Likes to fill that in, balance it out, right? So we come back here. Oh, okay, now we're rebalancing back down here to this level. Again, I don't have this, but you can kind of see how that would play ball. And then you're going to be back here going, God, man, why was I freaking out? Or why didn't I take the opportunity to buy it? Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just see how this plays, right? For all I know, here we're at these lows by Monday. Again, I'm not saying that this isn't possible. I'm not saying buy. I'm just saying based on the technical analysis here, it's a little premature to be freaking out. Either count almost doesn't matter, right? They're both bullish. It's just 1, 2, or is it 1, 2? This count actually more bullish, right? If it's 1, 2, 1, 2, we got a pair of 3s that are going to need to complete. So, I remain an enthusiastic bull. I mean, here we are. We're in the doldrums of summer. Everybody's fucking hot. Jesus, we're at 42 days in a row over 100 degrees here in Austin. It's just miserable outside, right? Volume's light. The Fed's going to keep hiking, right? So, there's legitimate. What's the word I want? Competition for capital. Let's just say it that way, right? So if we can get, the Fed's going to keep raising rates, you can get 5%. With low risk, you don't have the upside of Bitcoin, but hard to argue with the safety factor, right? So the competition for capital. Now, what's everybody in crypto waiting for, right? A Bitcoin ETF, right? If that comes, you're going to be sorry you didn't take advantage of Bitcoin being on sale. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you that that's a potential scenario here that could turn us around pretty quickly, right? As we go into the fall. All right, so let's. I think we made that clear enough here. I've just worked off the daily, right? I don't think there's any need to go beyond anything else, right? Okay. Big picture, right? Where's Elliott most effective, right? Really, 4 hours and above. Some people tell you daily, weekly, monthly, right? That's where Elliott really shines. You start grinding down. You get on a 5 minute. You're changing your count every 5 minutes. Okay, so there's a Bitcoin, and my view is just chillax. Right. If you got liquidated here, I'm sorry about that. Maybe reduce the leverage. All right. What else do we have? How am I doing? Oh shit. That's 25 minutes. Okay. Let's go over to the S&P. Now I have changed this count a little bit because of what's happening here. Now it feels like we've stabilized a bit here. What are we doing now? We're down 4, but it's not the free fall that we've had for the last couple of days here. Well, actually, really, it's been a pretty aggressive sell-off. Okay, where I've altered this count is right here, right? We've gone A, I'm going to expand the B to give me a 2 here so that I can get a 1, 2 here. 3, working on 4, looking for 5. Now, that would be 5 of 3, right? So in the same way, I'm not ready to flip bearish on the S&P. I'm not ready to flip bearish on Bitcoin either. Okay, so all right, is there a count to justify that, or are you just a stubborn bull? It's possible. 1, 2. Pardon me. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So if we look here, I've got shit. Let's go to a daily here and just put that context in for the daily. Let me get back to. Okay, so swing high, 50 to the tick. You bearish? Bearish on the U.S. market? For that, right? I had to erase it the other day. You're going to bet against that 80%? Well, if you're a bear, what you're saying is that you're anticipating trading principle number 4 to kick in, of failure to make the median line. So essentially what you're saying is the top's in. And failure to make the median line sets a move equal to or greater to. So at the very least, we're going to come down and retest 34.83. That's essentially, if you're turning bearish, that's what you're saying. Okay. I'll take the other side of that. Let's get in here. Now, I'm going to hide this, come here. I want to hide you. There we go. Okay, so now we can focus on this nice Elliott channel that we have here. So if this is 1, 2, now this is my 1, this is my 2. Now I can get an impulse here to give me a 3. I think it's 200% if I recall here from measuring this. Just shy, right? So here's our high probability zone. We got one little squirt through this. We're kind of in between 175, 200. Looks like that's going to be what we get here, right? We're just off of these are some from some volume profiles I drew here for some low volume here. So this, okay, right? This is a kind of a mile marker here. So I have an alert on it, right? If we're coming back up, then I know we're likely heading towards this 3, 4, 5, right? But remember, this has to go up here. That would be 4, 5. Okay, so let's go to a 4 hour here and take a look at what we have. I know that you can't see that in here. This, I think, is the wild card in this count. This section in here is. This is everybody's making their best guesstimate. Here's what we've got there. Let me get rid of that red. Oh, here. Oh, shit. Let's go up. How about that? Okay, this area here is what I think where the count can change. I do think we can get a good 1 here, but this is, I don't think you can go 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, shit, call it what you want. But if you're going to apply some strict Elliott here, because we sweep that low, this has to be a WX, right? And I can get a impulse here. So A, B, C into a W. I don't think you can wedge a a 5 into that. And if you do, it's such a wicked Elliott shuffle. I think that's a mistake. We just go sideways here. So we get an A, B, C to give us a 2. So it's a little abnormal that we go W, X, Y here. So, you know, I mean, it's different, right? It's unusual, especially for the S&P. But then coming off of that, I can get an impulse. So note here, I get sideways here, I get sharp, right? So alternation is decent, although this takes a little longer than this does, right? So if you just kind of always good to keep time in mind. Sideways, not progressing the trend. Up aggressively in an impulse, sharp retrace, right? So at least the alternation is good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And when I ending with a diag into the 5 to give me the proposed 3. Now this, if we look here, let's start comparing, right? Which is that's all we can do, right? Is just look at tendencies. Okay, so if this is the WXY, right? So this is complex, and it's not quite as sharp as this here. We have deeper retracements here, but I'm kind of paying attention to, I mean, my top senseis keeps reminding me to check this, right? So I'm paying attention here to length of the 2 relative to the 4. Well, if I'm coming right back here where I've got fair value gap here, I'm coming right back. This would be at perfect parity, right? So the length of the 2 projected from the proposed 3 put me at parity here at 42.64, 63, 64, somewhere in that range, right? Where I've got this little nub here where whether you got a fair value gap, and I'm sure you've got a demand zone in there as well. Probably refine that as that last little swing because we got that very impulsive reaction off of it. So you have a prime zone here. So the thought being, if we're going to come down a little bit further, okay, well, let's start lining that up. Okay, so if this is the 2, and we're going to go here, and let's go, we're looking for a wave 4. All right, I get kind of a nice overlap here. I got the 100 and the 30. Now, nothing says we have to come this deep, right? That they have to balance exactly. Here's the 38, right? Here's our prime zone for a 4. Prime zone is right here, right? Between the 23 and the 23.6 and 38, right? That's prime zone for a 4. Now, the channeling would suggest here, if I bring this down just a bit here, let's tighten that up a little bit, right? The channeling would suggest that this is a decent spot here to be looking. Okay, so if we come down to this, are you selling everything? Or is that an opportunity to be a buyer for that? Much like Bitcoin, right? So risk assets being put on sale, you buying the dips or selling the rips? Historically, as in all recorded time of the stock markets, buying the dips has been profitable. Now, over time, right? You got to add over time. Is this profitable to be buying the dips here? Well, eventually we're likely to hit a bottom. I'm never saying that we can't just collapse, right? But it's going to take more than, you know, we rallied up in the face of the most dramatic rate hike cycle in 20, 30 years. And we rallied. Oh, now everybody's nervous about China, which is legitimate. That's legitimate worry. What does every bull market do? Climbs a wall of worry. I mean, that's mandatory. There has to be worry or we don't climb. If everybody's in sync, though, we're going higher, well, then you got to be nervous about it coming down. The count in here is tricky. There's a few spots here where it's really your best educated guess. We get this consolidation area here where we had this just brutal chop. Let's go to try a 2 hour here, see if we can break this down a little bit. 1, 2, it looks like there's an impulse in here, and some of this is I've wicked off here, just wicking off ones. Excuse me, as I'm prone to do. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. All right, 1, 2. So what I see here, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, there's a 3 here, and then I've got just a waterfall. Well, that puts me into this as my B, which is a little... You know, is it valid? Well, yeah, I suppose it's valid. There's an impulse I can get here into a 3. 1, 2. So the 2 and the 4, not ideal. But you're kind of stuck with it because your thought might be to go, oh, if that's 1 and that's 2, where do I get, then this could be the 4, but we overlap and I have an impulse here. So this can't be your 4. So you're kind of stuck with the the radical imbalance between the 2 and the 4. Now, some Elliotticians will say, okay, well, it can't be the count then. You know, if you work backwards here, I'd be curious to see how you're coming up with a count here that's valid without that. So it strikes me that you've got to do the B here, A, B, C into the B, right? So that's why I highlighted this section, because if we start to fall apart, we're going to have to come back here and revisit this section, because this, I'm making my best educated guess here that this is 3, 4, 5 to give us the A, B, and now we start into the final piece, right? Where A, B, we're looking for the C down here, right? We know we've got reasonable targets. There's 100% the length of the 2. So all of this potentially falls in over here. This is what we're just looked at. So 1, 2, I got a completed impulse here. 1, 2, 3, right? 4, here's a fair value. Let me get in there. There's an imbalance, fair value gap. And so look here. So we have, this is a classic, oh shit! It's some call them, many people call it an order block, but it's drop, base, drop, right? So is this potentially, now we're coming back here to fill this? Now this has been tapped a couple of times. So again, theory can be that, oh, we're mitigated here. This has been tapped, and any orders that were here filled. Now as we come back, what's the next target here? Well, there's 2 things to look at. One, there's going to be stops right here, right? So that's potential liquidity here. We'll just here, all right, so we got potential liquidity up here. If we're going to come in, first thing, let's see what happens here at this fair value gap, because that would be a prime zone for the 4 to come in here. Let's go to, let's try a 30-minute. Do I have a 3 here? This has to be my 5 here. It kind of looks like we're working on it. Oh, Jesus, come here. It looks like we're working on an ABC here to give us that 4. We'll see, all right? Correcting the correction. Looks decent, right? I mean, again, now here I can refine this even more. Here's the fair value gap here, now changing, going from a daily now down to a 30-minute, right? Where we can see that imbalance is still there. So if we're coming back up here, okay, well, if let's apply just some base Elliott, all right? So, here it looks like that's double. We're looking for the 4, right? This would be 23, 38, 50. So this whole area here is ripe for a 4. Oh, let's put a channel on that. Jesus, come here. I might use that. That's pretty close right here, but this is the higher pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Oh, this could be, you might end up here. Truncate that. W, X, oh fuck. A, B, C, maybe. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter, right? So whether you're pulling from here or here, is that going to matter? Probably not. Okay, coming back for the 4. The implication is there's more down, right? Could that be the 3, right, of this? Right? Pardon me. 1, 2. Well, let's label it and measure it. If that's 2. All right, here, well, we're already past, right here, we interestingly, we pivot right at the 1618, but there's another drop. That's yesterday. Then back up here, we're going to come down for a 5 here at the 227 or 2618, right? We'd still be above that 100, right, we looked at. Somewhere in here, well, that potentially would give us the 3, but we'd not be done yet. 4, 5 might get us right to parity, right? Might get us right to the 100 length of the 2. We'd have a C. We'd have a 4. That's about as deep as you want your 4s, right? You don't want your 4s really going beyond 50s, right? It reduces the probability that we get a new high. But that's, I think that's, my view. Not going to matter much. All right, 3, 4. We come down at the 5s here. Boy, again, you buying the dip? I am. It's just a matter of timing, right? So this is really a sharp sell-off here, and this equally, right? But a few more little pops in this one. All right, I think that's all I got. It's 40 minutes here. That's probably plenty. All right, members. All right, lots to think about here and chew on. And of course, as Bitcoin drops off, it takes all the alts with it. So there's, it's not fun, right, to see your account balances draw down. But I don't think it's panic time yet. So, okay, guys, there you go. As always, right, you guys know you can join us over on our Discord, whether you're free or you want to be in the premium. Belts, all available, right? If you really want to learn this and really dig into it and the ways that we combine fibs, Elliott, market structure, and geometry, well, we can help you apply some of that. Okay, guys, there you go. Have a good weekend. I am back next Wednesday for a live stream with members, and we'll hope to see you then. Okay, guys, take it easy.